Hey, comic enthusiasts and pop culture lovers, I'm Ashley.
Sup, nerds? I'm Ryan, and together we are
Couple of Nerds.
Hey, you guys! We're talking about the Goonies today!
That's right.
So that's why we're wearing our pirate hats, because it's a whole pirate adventure kind of thing.
Yep.
And I'm going to take this off because it's very big. This is actually my pirate hat, and this pirate hat that Ryan is wearing is what I made for him. We kind of made it for Pirate Fest, so we just wanted to kind of show those off today. With the Goonies, it's one of my favorite films of all time. So it came out on June 7th, 1985.
Yep.
And fun fact with that, in Astoria, Oregon, where it actually takes place, that day is actually the Goonies Day. They celebrate it every year by having people come in and actually watch the movie on a big screen, and everyone comes dressed up. It's great.
Sounds really fun. We should do that here.
Yes, it'd be so much fun, especially because there's so much pirate stuff around here.
Yeah.
Since, Captain Teague was here around this area in Bath, North Carolina, which is awesome.
Is that Blackbeard?
Yeah, that's Blackbeard.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Did you know that Steven Spielberg actually directed some of the movie too?
Really?
Yeah, he's actually credited as one of the writers.
Okay, so that's why there's the connection to Gremlins and
Yeah, because
stuff like that.
Gremlins actually is actually in the same universe. Because when Chunk actually calls the police, and the policeman just is talking to us like, oh yeah, sure. Just like there's gangsters shooting at you. Yeah, just like that one time with all those little creatures that start changing and stuff when you throw water on them and everything and multiplying. I'm like, that's the Gremlins.
It's a good thing you didn't tell them about the gorillas.
Yeah, that was actually a thing that almost happened too, which is weird. Luckily they kind of cut that out because it's already too crazy.
Yeah, there's a deleted scene with gorillas, deleted scene of a giant octopus.
Yeah, that was crazy. Let's see. So, the Goonies was actually shot almost entirely in Astoria, Oregon. It was about a 5-month shooting schedule for that.
Yeah.
And so everything was basically filmed there except for the scenes in the caves and
the pirate ship.
Yeah. That was actually a big sound stage in California and Burbank, which is really cool. Mm-hmm. And the whole thing with that pirate ship, the actors, all the kid actors having in it, they didn't see that until that very moment in the film.
Yeah, the moment where they all get their action.
Yeah. That's their actual reaction to it. It's like, wow! That's because they haven't seen it yet. And so that was a really cool thing because the actual producer and director of the actual movie did not want me to see it. Even though Corey Feldman, who plays Mouth, said otherwise, that he saw it before, but we kind of don't take that quite to heart because he does say a lot of stuff. He talks a lot. He's Mouth. That's just what he does. Of course, there's another reason why he's also called Mouth. Not only because he talks a lot, but in the one scene where he's being interrogated by Ma Fratelli, the leader of the Fratelli gang, is basically squeezing his mouth to get all the stuff out of it. All of the jewels and the string of pearls actually fit in his mouth. That was in one take. So he has a very large mouth. So I was like, that's impressive. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So the cast was really cool too because the Goonies was actually Josh Brolins' first role ever in cinema.
And he was Cable, he was Thanos.
Yeah, he played Cable in Deadpool, he was Thanos in the Marvel movies.
And we got Samwise Gamgee.
Sean Astin,
yes.
He played Mikey. And kind of a fun fact, Sean Astin actually called Josh Brolin Josh on accident in the film and actually stayed in. It was actually when Chunk, the heftier looking kid in the movie, ends up spilling a giant glass water cooler in the basement of the Fratelli gang hideout. And he accidentally said Josh instead of Brand, which was supposed to be Josh Brolin's character's name, but just kept it in because it was very quick, nobody really noticed it.
And I'm wearing my Indiana Jones shirt because one of the actors in the Goonies was also a famous actor from Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom.
That's right, that's C.O.N.
Yeah.
And he's awesome. He plays Data. That's actually my favorite character in the Goonies. He's awesome. He's this really cool kid. He has all these little gadgets. He's like a mix between 007 and Inspector Gadget. And it's fantastic. It's one of my favorites. And with Sean Astin, his One-Eyed Willie speech that he actually talks about in the attic of his house That was mostly improvised. Because the director actually told him the basis of the story of One-Eyed Willie. And then he just went with it. Like, he was telling it like a child would. He just let his imagination go with it.
And they were all asking him silly questions.
Yeah, a lot of little silly, weird questions, because they're kids. And of course, it's an 80s movie, so things are just a little different like they are today. Also, the production designer, J. Michael Riva, he thought that the treasure map looked too new, so he actually took it over to the prop department, and he wanted it to look more than, he wanted it to look like it was 300 years old.
Yeah.
And so what he did is he spilled coffee all over it and burned the edges and everything, but then he felt like it needed drops of blood, which is kind of gross. So he went to the prop department to get paint, and they were out of red paint. So what he did is he actually pricked his finger and actually used drops of his own blood on the actual treasure map, which is really gross. Really gross.
That's what I call dedication to your craft.
I know, right? Oh yeah, so the reason why I'm wearing my Supergirl shirt and kind of thing is because the character Sloth, at the end of the movie, he rips off his shirt and vest to reveal a Superman shirt. Not only does it fit perfectly within the film, but it's actually kind of an inside joke, because the actual producer and director of the film also directed the Superman movie that came out in the 70s.
They even got the theme song in there.
Yeah, which is really cool.
You wouldn't be able to do that these days.
No, I thought it was really, really cool. And but another thing with some of the actors, the character Chuck, the heavier kid, he's one of my favorites too. He's really funny. He's a really great child actor. But he actually kind of quit being in the acting gig, but he's actually now an actor's lawyer.
Okay.
And not only that, but during the filming of the entirety of the movie, he had the chicken pox.
Really?
You could kind of see it when he's doing the chuckle shuffle. He has little red spots on his stomach. He had the chicken pox. He didn't tell anybody. They didn't want them to get somebody else because he really wanted to do this.
Wow, it's amazing how everyone involved in that movie went on to make such great things like Lord of the Rings, Marvel movies, Indiana Jones. Well, I guess Pennywise Kong already did Indiana Jones,
yes.
But he was in Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
But I'm really happy with how this all turned out. There's another really cool thing with some of the props and everything. So there was a scene when they're in the caves and they come across some bats flying out of everywhere. Those are not real bats. Don't worry, no bats were actually harmed in the movie. There were no real animals for that. Those bats were actually bow ties and paper mache just blown out of an air cannon.
They couldn't even get rubber bats from a Halloween store?
Nope, because they did not exist yet.
Okay, fair enough.
Which is really weird, and I'm really excited. I love the Goonies. It is one of my favorite. It is a cult classic. It still holds up today just because it's so fun. And all of the places in Astoria in that movie still exist today, and people go there all the time as a rite of passage. So I absolutely say that you guys should watch it. It's awesome.
Tune in every Friday for more nerdy stuff and trivia from us, your couple of nerds, only on Halloween C.